Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today and Watcher of Realms. Welcome to the video, guys. Glad to have you all here today. Send some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there. Listen, we've been doing a lot of hero guides lately on the channel, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Notably, specifically, we've been doing a lot of epic hero guides here on the channel, and you know, rightfully so. There's so many good epics in this game who really do stand toe-to-toe with legendary offerings. A lot of them are quite a bit better. I mean, I use Wrath and Olog a lot more than I use almost any other legendary hero in this game. Idril's another example, right? There's a lot of them out there. Baron, I can keep going and going. So I really want to make guides on all of these heroes and even some of the more, I guess, underrated ones, right?
Finally, you see.
We just released a video on AI or I love that hero so much. We just did one on Greed the other day as well. Heck, we even did one on Titus. So I still love Greed. I'm actually kicking myself. On that Greed guide, I should have mentioned he's a 30-day login hero for everybody now. So now they give us Mari, they give us Greed, they give us Wrath, and they give us Olog in this game. Plus a pretty decent marksman on top of all of that, right? Very generous with their not greedy, not the antithesis of greed here on display by the developer of this game when it comes to their offerings of these heroes, right? Today is not a free hero, but it's a very good one that you guys have been demanding, compelling me to do a guide on in the comments. So I want to throw it back to you before we jump into it here on none other than the Scarecrow himself. It is Nauvras.
Hello, friends and family, again.
I want to ask you guys, keep them coming in the comments. If there is an epic or even a rare or legendary hero that you absolutely love, especially ones that don't already have 15 guides on them on YouTube, right? Please let me know about it. I would love to do more guides like this, especially on Nauvras, AI, Titus, who we did last week, Greed, these type of heroes where, you know, they're kind of borderline. Should you invest in them? Should you not? Anyway, we have Nauvras. So what does the Scarecrow do? Well, first of all, he does a lot of damage, which is nice. He actually has burst damage, which is associated with his ultimate, as it usually is the case. Before that, reviews on this dude, right? He's a Nightmare Esoterist, so absolutely love that. Love the dual, you know, faction ability on this hero. I love when they have that. So where are we using him? I want to be real with you guys. Compared to a champion like Greed, I'm not going to sit here on this channel and tell you every hero is the best damn hero, you know, because that just doesn't make sense, right? So this dude, I want to be real. He's maybe a little bit more niche than a hero like a Greed or AI. Does not mean he's worse than these heroes. It just means that the areas that you can use him, probably a little bit more limited. Obviously, campaign, this guy's going to be a beast. I love him in Void Rift, right? Void Rift, I'm going to show you a Void Rift session with Nauvras. Very good there, exceptionally good in Tide, in Faction Trial, and in the Arena. You can see on his ratings here, which I do stand by for the most part on this hero. When you get into gear raids, I don't think he's the best in any gear raid personally. He can be okay in gear raid 1 and 2 maybe. Gear raid 3 maybe a little bit better than okay. But as you progress to 19, 20, 21 and beyond on these stages, I do think that he probably falls off a bit in gear raids. That's just my experience. Again, I want to be real with you guys. But that being said, Gold Raid, Arena Anti-Air, Arena Sustained, EXP Raid, Tide Faction Trial, and Single Target DPS, and Void Rift in campaign, I think he's a stud. And he's really cool. Wait till you see him in action. If you're not familiar with him, you might recognize him on his ultimate, man. It's hard to miss, right? So he deals 100% damage to one enemy. When killing an enemy, he deals 100% AoE damage. This is his basic attack, okay? On the ultimate, it's Spirit Raven. He's a Scarecrow, right? So he summons all these ravens. Summon Spirit Ravens to attack random targets in range. Each Raven dealing 50% magic damage lasts for 12 seconds. And you can get that damage up as well as the skill cost down, respectively. And then Straw Minion on his auto passive here summons a Scarecrow that will explode on contact every 4 basic attack, dealing 150% AoE damage. His basic attack can be increased in terms of his attack speed, so the more attack speed, the more Scarecrows that we are summoning as well from the Straw Minion, okay? When we talk about Awakens, Spirit Raven gains an additional 20% crit rate on A1, excuse me, my head is blocking everything here, I apologize. Crit damage up, Expands the explosion range of the straw minions on, Awaken 3, excuse me. Rage regen +1 on A4, and then Spirit Raven's damage +20% on A5. Definitely a very viable, like, if you're digging this dude, you invest in him. Absolutely Awaken with confidence. Those are really good awakening abilities. One of the things I love the most about him is I can run him on Nightmare teams, because everybody has Wrath, right? I feel like Nightmare teams are the easiest to make. Heck, if you have Torador, even better. If you have Hatsuit, tremendous. Abomination. There's just so many good Nightmare champions out there, or heroes out there, excuse me, that he fits right in there. So you can fit right in your Nightmare team, which is really, really nice. Baron, another one, right? Here he is. Aesthetically, this dude looks, I don't know if it's just me, but he looks really cool, man. Got some Carrot Top vibes going on too, Mr. Navus. What do we care about here? In terms of gear, I don't have crazy gear on him at all. I do recommend going with Whirlwind. Again, we want him to have a high attack speed because every 4 attacks, he's got those scarecrows pumping out, right? So, you know, you don't have to overdo it with that. I wouldn't go attack speed main stat, but I would go with Whirlwind if you have it, right? So I just went with some attack speed out the gate with this dude. I knew I was going to put him in crit rate on the Bangle. This is an early game and mid game gearing strategy. I feel like every YouTube video you watch on gearing is more, this is not a shot at anybody too. I probably recommended the same thing, but I feel like it's more about like min-maxing in the end game in this game. And truth is, crit rate is just very hard to get. Good rolls of crit rate on all of your damage dealers in this game. It's nice that the gear cost has been removed, but it can be challenging. Sometimes I find it easier just to focus on good gear without having to stress crit rate on every substat and just going crit rate on the Bangle. Now, it's not ideal in the end game. In the end game, we usually want like attack percentage, crit damage, or, you know, rage regen or something like that. But I feel like, you know, the common wisdom is don't go crit rate, go crit damage or attack percentage. But hey, it's still tough to gear out everybody. I think I made my point. Attack, see, look at this. Oh, well, actually, this was actually just a really good piece of gear. Forget it. But I do have the crit rate there. I got some crit damage as well, attack bonus. And then we have crit damage with attack speed. Crit rate, I am looking for that attack speed. In terms of total stats on this hero, we have 8,500 on the attack. It's a little low on the attack there. The general rule of thumb for attack inside this game is ideally we'd be through gear, we'd be double the base number, right? Double the base number. So in this case, we'd be around 7,000 extras. So we're quite a bit short of that. Now we do make up for a bit in our crit damage. We have 91 with 274. So some crit damage certainly in there as well. Keep in mind though, on this dude's skills, right? It's the crows here, on the ultimate, excuse me, the Spirit Ravens, my bad, that are coming in there and doing the damage, right? But you can increase their crit rate on the A1 as well. Keep that in mind. Still on his basic attack, he still deals some nice, decent damage, excuse me. Let me go and quickly bring him up on mybucket.com. He recommends going attack percentage, crit damage, and attack percentage in the 3 gear slots there as well. What does he give him for scores here in terms of in the game? Overall, B-, early B+. I think that's pretty fair here. Void Rift, excuse me, I would say personally maybe a B+, A-. I found it to be a little bit better than slightly above average, I guess. Basic Trial, definitely I would say an A or A-. He's great damage here on this hero. He's pretty one-dimensional. It's all about damage, no debuffs or anything like that. That's kind of a downside to him. Gold and EXP rate, I would say A- or A. So I guess, as you can see here, even though I agree basically with these ratings, I would say I'm a little bit higher than Mabucket is on this hero. Not significantly, but a little bit, right? I'd probably give him an overall of a B or a B+, and an early game of an A-. So again, kind of splitting hairs here, but I'm a little bit higher on this dude than others. Granted, I do have him A5. I was sitting on a bunch of these guys, and every time I pulled him or summoned him, I was like, oh man, these guys in the comments asking me to invest in Navus. So I finally did, right? On artifacts, increase the chances of triggering an additional basic attack by 0.25% for every 1% increase in rage. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 5 seconds. Well, that plays in beautifully with his passive anyway, right? So we went with the Watchguard's Wisdom as our artifact here. Otherwise, you can go with any artifact that has, what does my bucket recommend here? I closed the screen, but you guys can go ahead and check that out if you'd like. Either way, I think going with attack and crit rate, attack bonus, anything along those lines would be great. Let's just see what we have available here. Restoring rage every 5 attacks. I think that's great. So Nightmare Samsara would be an awesome one. I don't love the wind shielded, increase attack by 10% unless you're really going in there with Vortex every time, or you can plan on having a shield. AoE damage increases this hero's AoE damage. I'm not loving that one. Yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you have it, the Watchguard's Wisdom, or a better, obviously, mythical option if you have any of those as well. All right, guys, let's go into, I promised the Void Rift. Let's go ahead and into the Void Rift first. And, oh, let's collect our loot here, guys. What do you say? All right, so explore. Okay, here's a dude that we need to attack. All right, so this is a team that we're gonna run here, guys. All epic heroes. I just want to give it a quick once over. I think we'll be good to go. So we have this pedestal, and then we have like these areas that we can catch the guys before they go into the water and power up. But it's also a Calypso level, so she's gonna target the last unit that we place on the board, so we want to make sure that's always a defender, and we have like a good healing setup as well. We don't have to place anybody right away on this level, because why would we? We're just taking damage. The rage regen is negligible, so it's not that big of a deal. So we're gonna go ahead and my favorite thing about this dude is his ultimate. Check this out, guys. I want to show you this. Look at his ultimate range. He's faced in this direction right here. This is where he is. This is our guy, right? Nauvras. But his ult can hit all the way over here. That is crazy. Look at the range on this thing. My favorite thing about this dude. And his ult is nasty too. Take a look at it right here. Look at, it's like, you ever play Ghosts and Goblins when you pick up the flame accidentally because it kind of sucks? That's what he's got going on, man. Just an endless onslaught of throwing flames at people. Well, what it looks like. I guess they're ravens or whatever. All right, so let's set up our our control and our defense here. So I want to go AI, I want to go Dolores, I want to go Vortex, and then I want to go, I want to get a Wrath in here. And then I want to end, can I get a Baron in there? I think I can. And then I need a Maul too. Oh, get him in there. I'm gonna need a Maul though. That's the problem. We weren't able to get Maul down. So I like this setup. I'm just not sure. But look at this. Oh, let's pop Dolores first here. Look at this. He's hitting behind him and he's hitting the boss at the same time, right? He's hitting everybody with that ability. Now we're gonna have a big problem over here. I'm not sure how we're gonna handle. Oh, well, I guess maybe I am sure how we're gonna handle it. Let's pop Baron up in the top. We're going to eventually have to sacrifice Baron up here. Take some right now. It looks to be the time. And then we're going to get Maul in there. Then we're going to get Baron back in. Hopefully we can beat this stage. Let's go ahead and pop this ability. Let's get some self-heal on Titus. Let's get Dolores to help as well over here on the right. Everything looks okay. We got 30 seconds until we get Baron back in the fight. And then things are going to be stabilized. It's just, is there enough time is the big question. So Titus is doing his thing. Okay. 5 seconds left. We're going to be good to go. Let's go ahead and pop this. Help out over there. Let's get Maul. And then let's get... We're going to need Wrath out of there. Going to need Baron in. Did Maul die? Maul died. Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, Titus, heal. Heal yourself, dude. Baron, do stuff. Olag, you can't die, can you, man? Can you? Well, we got 20 seconds till we can support the left-hand side. Look at this, though. We can hit all the way over there! All the way! It's a no-look behind-the-back pass. Not too bad, right? Isn't that cool? Isn't he a cool freaking mage, dude? All right, let's see what he did. Look at that damage, man! Well, it's easy to pick up 5 milli. More than half the entire team when you can shoot behind you at the same time, right? Really cool hero, guys. Let me go ahead and show you him in another area as well. Let's go ahead and go to camp really quickly. So guys, here we are in the arena. We have right now single target DPS, and I do not have Dolores on my team. That feels kind of weird. So I just want to make sure I go against a team that has a higher BP than me, and I put together an all nightmare squad. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. I will say that I'm not like absolutely blown out of the water by Narvis's damage in this particular arena mode, but he is going to be, you know, the third or fourth guy on, so it's always grading on a curve when it comes to that. I start with Wrath, so does my opponent here. He goes with Silas, who I don't have, very jealous. I went with Hatsuit, and it looks like we're going to win this first round here. We're going to place Narvis as my, I think, my third champion right over here, yes. So here's Nauvras, and you can see it looks like we're probably going to burn that ult right away. No, we're not going to. Okay, there it is. So we're a little bit late there on the ultimate Ash. We could have won that one had we not sat on it and then wasted it, man. I hate that about auto sometimes. You don't recognize that you made a mistake in the original battle. They record it and it's not what you wanted, you know? Anyway, so far so good. I love the fact that this team, even though we don't have Dolores, which is not the way that I would, you know, normally go, I love that on a Nightmare team with a Nauvras. I mean, we get Nauvras, excuse me. We do get quite a bit more powerful the longer that we go because of that awesome Nightmare bonus. Dude, how did we not win that one? I felt like it was really, really close there. So this is going to be neck and neck here against Black 7903. Let's see what we can do. Come on. Come on. Okay, we have to deal with two of these guys, so not a big race in the very beginning. Let's get this second guy down. You can see he's throwing his flames. Look at him throwing his flames, man. There we go. There we go. That time we timed it right. And it looks like that might be the win. Yes, it is. All right, let me show you EXP raid with him as well before I let, or gold raid, either or. I put one team together before we let you guys go. But overall, like, I think he's a very competent. You can see damage-wise, though, he's there with Abomination. But then again, a little bit unfair, too. But, you know, definitely not as much as some of the fighters in that round, for sure. Keep in mind, though, he's good in 3 different arena formats, right? Which makes him really special in that regard. Tide, I already mentioned, he's great in. Faction, obviously, Trials, he's great in. Let me quickly go on a, I think I did gold. Stage 7, gold. Let's, yeah, six person team here. Kind of not sure what the heck you're doing in the beginning, and you're just like, okay, let's do it this way. Put Maul up first. Come on. Yeah, okay. And then we'll put Narvis over here. And then look at this. I love the control there. Let's put more control over here. I think we'll have plenty of time, but I would have loved to position them a little bit more towards this way, you know? Look at all those crystal. I mean, look at this control. Forget about it. Just a matter of making sure that we kill all 70 and get all the gold, right? I'll save the ults for a moment here. Okay. Now we can push them in, and then we don't even have to use his ability yet at all. His ultimate, that is. But you can see the little guy, man. He's just putting in work, right? Okay. Let's just use it. Boom. Look at that. Ah! Those ravens look so cool. I could have used it right now, huh? Okay. Okay. Yeah, this team, easy peasy. Easy peasy, right? All right, guys. So, again, I'm counting on you. Give me some good hero. I like the unknowns, you know? I like the ones like Nauvras that people don't really talk about that much, you know? And my man here, you know, pretty good damage. Again, 2.4 mil. But keep in mind, again, he was one of the last guys placed on the map as well. So, you know, don't hold that too hard against him. Really cool single target and then burst damage on that ult on this dude. I think he can help out a lot of accounts. Again, I don't like him quite as much as Greed personally, as I said in the beginning of the video. But I do think that if you're looking for damage, burst damage, right? Against bosses, stuff like that. I think he's very, very competent. He's worth investing in, even for Faction, Tide, and EXP and Gold raids. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.